Eyes down for the Morning folks, it's Monday. I went beetling off up the Keith with all the gear for the wildlife cam, and then realised when I got there that he's not in because today's the 29th and they've got hospital appointments in Hull. So that's where they are now. So, it's workshop and it's bloody recalcitrant chainsaws. The plugs have come. I put the plug in it. It starts straight away, and then as soon as you try and open the throttle, it just dies, cuts. Now, I haven't touched the carburettor. I've not been anywhere near the carburettor. All I've done is put another pump on. So, I don't know. But I'm thinking of just unclipping the pump again and swapping the pipes over. See if that makes any difference. Because there's no indication which pipe goes where. Although there is one large pipe and one small pipe, and it does appear that it's working. It's got a one-way valve in it. You can hear it suck and click, but it does appear that the pump is working. It is pumping fuel up to the carburettor, so I don't know, but it's not right. It's certainly not right, so I'm going to just swap it over and see if that makes a difference. I'll bring you back if it does. Bye now. Right folks, well, we've got it running, but it cuts as soon as you open the throttle. In fact, you get it running and it runs for a few seconds, sounds really good, and then it cuts. So what the hell's going on, I don't know. I've confirmed that I've got the bulb, I had got the pump bulb in the right way. It'll only pump one way. So I've put a new piece of pipe on, one because it was loose. And I think it may suck fuel through the bulb, I'm not sure, through the primer bulb. Anyway, there you go. So, I've got out that one works, but I had no fuel in it, so I've got that to top up. I've got that one to check over and repair, that also works, but last time I used it was cutting out a bit, but they're both good little saws, those two. Then of course, I've got the monster steel. But, unfortunately now, it rains. And we were given rain for 12 o'clock and it's 12 o'clock and it's raining. So there you go. So that's put paid to all outside work for today, so it looks like we're playing indoors. Right, I'll bring you back when I'm up at Case. What I've got to do up at Case is set up a power over Ethernet unit to feed a smart antenna that we have on the gable end of Keith's, and then see about setting up the solar panel for the wildlife cam, although we're obviously not going to be putting wildlife cams out whilst it's raining. I've got the battery on charge there, I've got a solar panel, I've got the camera, I've got the solar panel controller, and I've also got the voltage regulator which goes between the solar panel output and the camera, because the voltage on the solar panel regulator is floating, so it might get as high as 14.4 volts, so we don't want that going to the camera, so we've got a little regulator just to sort that out as well. So there you go. Right, I'll return again when I am up at Keith's. Oh, I've also got a wireless card to fit in Angela's computer if we can get a signal up there. Okay, bye now. Right folks, nearly 5 o'clock on Monday, and that Omni up there with all those bloody cables is working. Is working. I've managed to reconnect it to the power over Ethernet in the loft. I've managed to sort out that the thick black cable you see disappearing off there goes somewhere else. and I've got it's got a bullet amplifier on it, which also acts as an access point, and I've got that plugged in, and I've got the antenna working, and you can go up the field and you can receive the signal. So there you are. So that's the house half of our wildlife cam working. So we'll leave the rest for tomorrow or some other time. Bye now. Afternoon folks. Wednesday and we're back on the mobility scooter. The new overall speed control arrived this morning and I fitted it, and it makes no difference. What I mean is, it makes no difference to the speed of the scooter. Now I promised you I would show you the wiring I'd neatened up. So there it is. Right, I think you'll agree that's much neater than it was before, but we still have the fault. It is not developing very much forward power at all, so we need to look deeper. I've read the manual again, and it says this scooter will carry 28 stone up a standard access ramp, and also across grass, gravel, etc, etc. Well, this one won't carry me up a slight slope, and I'm 13 stone, so it should be carrying double my weight. So we know we've got a fault. Right, so what I'm going to do is check that all the signals from the column are getting to this board first, and then I'm going to take the traction unit out and strip the traction unit brake and make sure that's clearing properly. But I mean, if you look at this, if you try and move both wheels forward, it won't go. It simply won't go. So it looks like it is locking, and it looks like it is freeing. Strangely, I appear to have voltage there all the time. That's the brake connection, and to my mind it should only have voltage when you pull the trigger, but there you go. Right, I shall continue by doing some testing. I'll bring you back in a bit. Right folks, Wednesday afternoon, we're in deeper. We've found a bodge. I couldn't get this connector undone. The reason I couldn't get it undone is because it had welded itself together, because we have this bodge here. All these have been overloaded and overheating, and these are the main cables that go to the motor. Now if you look at the size of those cables in there, and then you look at the size of these cables here, you can see why they're probably inadequate. And this goes to a connector here, which has been forcibly plugged in the wrong way around to make it work. So we may be getting somewhere. Sometimes, just sometimes, I wish I'd been a librarian. Bye now. Right folks, we have removed this piece of utter doo-doo from the circuit, and we've connected direct from the box to the motor terminals. So all those faulty junctions are now out of circuit. The only junction now is that one, so we can see if that overheats. Right, and if it does overheat, we're going to have to think again. They are pretty strong connectors, but I have better. But at the moment I'm just going to put the batteries back on and see if we can get a tune out of it, because it's 4:44. Nearly time to go home. Bye now. That's it folks. Wednesday, 5 o'clock. It's all back together. We've removed a lot of very nasty wiring from it. The bad news is it's still exactly the same. It goes forwards, it goes backwards, but it doesn't seem to develop any power. Right? As soon as you come to any slight incline, it bogs down. So there you go. So it's 5 o'clock now. So I'm going to go home and do some research and have a think about it. It's looking to me, oh, we had another disaster today as well. That part we were waiting for, I soldered the cables onto it, fitted it, and it broke in just the same way that the other one broke. So if I can find it just before I go, there it is. There it is. Right, now you see the shaft has broken away from the plastic. Right, just exactly like the other one did. And it comes with a nut, a spring washer and a flat washer. And apparently you have to leave the flat washer on there, because if you don't, it just breaks the plastic. This is a piece of Chinese crap. Right, what I'm going to... Oh, it's not, it's Japanese crap. It says Tokyo. Does that say Tokyo? I think it does. I think it does say Tokyo. Yeah, well, whatever it is, it's crap. So what I'm going to do is to measure the resistance of the track and order a proper one. However, having said all that, the scooter works exactly the same as it did without it in circuit. Here it is, it's not in, it's still doing the same thing. So the wiring's been bastardised, we know the wiring's been bastardised. So it's a matter of gradually working through it, tracing, finding out what has been bastardised and trying to put it back to how it was. The problem is, of course, you can't get a wiring diagram. You can get a wiring diagram that's something like the same, but not identical. So there you go. Tomorrow I'm going to use a clip-on ammeter and start current tracing, and I think we'll find that the current drops away at the that control box under the footboards there. Right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye now. Right folks, Thursday, the nightmare continues. I have and should have filmed taking that brake off, stripping it down, cleaning it and rebuilding it. It's very simple. This connection is a coil, electromagnet. When you turn the scooter on and press the start button, press the forward button or the reverse button, the coil in there becomes energized and it pulls the plate away from the brake disc and frees it all off, and away it goes. As soon as you release it, the coil's controlled by a relay in the control box. You come to a halt and there's a click as the brake goes on again. It wasn't clicking. Now I've cleaned it out, there was rust in it, like there's always rust in them. I had this exact same problem on my wife's when we used to go to Green Man with the three-wheeler, and I field stripped it and rebuilt it and it worked straight away. Do I think this is going to work? There's only one way to find out, but I ain't got a lot of confidence. But now you can hear it click, there's an audible click. Before there wasn't. So we'll put it back together and give it a test and find out. Bye now. Here we are folks. The brake now works perfectly. I'm really pleased with the brake. It makes all the right noises, but the scooter's no different. It still wouldn't climb a hill or pull the skin off a wet rice pudding. And I've noticed that after taking out for a quick blast and coming back again, the actual control box is getting hot. Well, the control box should get warm because the whole of the case of the control box is a big heatsink. But whether it should get that hot, my suspicions are that that control box is not the right well, I know it's not the right control box for the scooter, but it won't let enough current through to give the motor full power. If you were using this on level ground, on tarmac, it zooms along, because we tested it before we bought it, and it zoomed along, but we didn't try climbing any hills with it. Right? It didn't seem reluctant at all to climb hills, but it was on very smooth tarmac. Now it won't look at it, and it should fly. So I'm beginning to be a little bit annoyed now. Never mind. Right, we'll soldier on. Bye now. Friday job 1 completed. A new handle on the yard spade. Bye now. There it is, folks. That's all it needs to be. I need to fix that plastic cup on at the bottom, but that's all it needs. So that slips in there, that cable will wrap around there. Job's a good one. Right, I shall put that together and finish it. Bye now. Right folks, that's done. Nice little rollabout job. Very neat. Uncle Stephen's been over and brought me a very nice tractor picture, which I'm going to put on the wall somewhere, but I haven't decided where yet. And we have some cameras. We have an external cam. We have an internal cam. And we're shortly going to have, probably sometime next week if the weather's kind to us, a wildlife cam. So I'll be able to log into those and record bits and put them in my videos. Oh look. It's a very dull, overcast day here. It's been raining since early morning and I've been at the workshop. There's not a lot going on, apart from my mate Martyn putting the cameras in. So there you go. Right, I better put that duck back on, haven't I, before I forget. Bye now. Well folks, the witching hour has arrived. Typical for East Yorkshire, summer was switched off on the 1st of September and we've gone back to dank wet. God, I must get that grass cut. Look at the state of it. That's with being in the field all year. I'll trim it. Never mind. So, little jobs have been done, big jobs have been done, tinkering has been done. I've got this absolutely sorted. That's really ideal. That's exactly what I wanted. So that's another job finished. I've got to get that put in place somewhere and filled up with all sorts of other junk. So now we're coming towards the back end of the year. I shall be spending more time in the workshop and less time up at the field. So the channel's going to change a bit, more towards bench repairs and the Holbrook. The poor old neglected, forgotten about Holbrook, which I'm going to crack on with because I want to get all these things done and I want to get all this stuff sorted out in this workshop and most of it sold, because I've got a lot of junk that I'm never going to do anything with and it needs to go. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And soon I'll be able to bring you, as soon as I learn to operate it all of course, I'll be able to bring you workshop cam, high speed footage. See you all next week. Bye now.